Within IMT Lazarus, we're also going to be able to launch resources directly from my platform. To do this, like in every other stage, we would choose which device, one or multiple, we want to launch these resources onto. Now that I've chosen my devices, I come here to the Management of Educational Resources button. Once I click it, we can see that here it's going to open up all of my educational resources. These are going to be the ones that I mostly use, and they're editable and customizable. But for example, let's say that I want to open Kahoot, Edpuzzle, or Google Classroom. I would simply click on the resources that I want. Now, we can see that they have already been added to the list here. If I want to, I can also include my own URL, let's say for a Google Doc, and it will be added to my list. Once I have completed my list, or I have all the resources that I want available, I simply click the open button and it will open it directly onto my students' devices. Now we're going to go to the actual device so we can see what happens in real time. In this case, our student has their browser open, but what will happen now in a few seconds, all the resources that we have chosen and launched will open onto their device. As we can see, here is the document. We're going to be able to see the Edpuzzle and the Kahoot pages open as well. Everything that was included in our resource list will now be open. And this is the way we're going to be able to share resources with our students' devices. As I mentioned, we can launch these resources to one, multiple, or all of my students if I choose to. Now, we also have a very interesting feature within the launching of resources called the pin mode. So for this, I'm going to choose these two devices, and I'm going to come to my Management of Educational Resources button. Here we can see the pin mode. Up here at the top, we're going to be able to choose how long we want to pin the resources for. What the pin mode does is essentially it pins or locks the students into whatever resources we have chosen here. Whatever resources are on our list are the only resources that our students will be able to open and use. So let's say that for 30 minutes, I'm going to apply the pin mode and I'm going to keep this list of resources. Now, when I choose pin, I'm going to get a notification. This notification will let me know that once I pin these tabs, it means that it will close all the other tabs that don't coincide with the ones that I have chosen here. I'm going to click close and pin. We're going to see that the tabs are going to open. In this case, the resources will be pinned because that is what we have chosen. And when I try to access, for example, YouTube from my own browser, we'll have a pop-up message that says that we're only allowed to access these specific URLs. Now, if we come back here to our platform, we can see that we have the little pin mode, and it'll let me know how much time is left on the specific mode. While we have pinned these resources, it means that we can't launch any new resources onto their device. But if I want to, I can choose my student and I can choose to unpin the resources. So I click on pin and I confirm that I want to unpin the tabs. For example, now we come back to our student's device and we can see that when we try to access YouTube, we will be allowed to do so. They will now be able to navigate freely within our school's filters. And that is how we share resources using IMT Lazarus.